I worked on cruise ships for 8 years. Ask me anything. I am a USA citizen who worked for several cruise line companies as an entertainment lighting technician and designer. I traveled all over the world coastally, of course, to everywhere except for Asia and Australia. Any insider secrets, hacks, tips that people who don't work in the ship wouldn't know? The buffets are least crowded during the shows. On Carnival cruises, you may be able to bribe a staff member into buying a bottle of booze from duty free. Give a $50 tip to your room steward on the first day. He or she will do anything to keep you happy for the rest of the cruise. Legally speaking, of course. How much to keep me happy illegally? That's between you and the room steward who's about to get fired. What's the grossest thing you've seen on the job? We had a charter for Atlantis Cruising, a company that caters to the gay male community of the more promiscuous and kinky persuasion. I saw some interesting things at cruise, but the grossest was the morning after the third night. We found a very hungover crew member who was naked and had been engaged in scat play.
Ew.
I hope it was on the poop deck. Every deck is a poop deck. If you're covered in enough poop. How does the captain of such a large cruise ship manage the vessel, including all of the crew members and thousands of passengers? Delegation. The captain is a master of delegation. If he has done his job correctly, he is not busy. If an issue with crew gets to his kevel, it has gone way too far. Do you have special visa rules to disembark at all the countries? The visas are mostly taken care of by the ship. Sometimes a member of the local customs would come aboard before docking to take care of in-person visas if they were required. Panama required all who are disembarking be a member of an official excursion. When I was working on ships, I never had any special visas to disembark, but we did need to take our passports off when we were in Russia, and it was the only country that stamped my passport the whole contract. Best ship you have worked on? I loved the Celebrity Mercury. It was 700-ish passengers and was really intimate. The NCL Pride of America had the best itinerary. All the Hawaiian Islands, 2 overnights and no sea days. I miss that ship. The NCL Epic had the best work. I worked with Blue Man Group, Cirque Dreams, and Elvis Presley's original band, taking care of business. Is it a lifelong type of career or something that people do for just a few years? What kind of money can be made? You can make great money. It's a great life as long as you're single. I left when I got married. No food bill, no rent, no utilities, cheap booze. You can make a good chunk of money in 6 months. Back in the 1990s, base pay for service staff was around $100 per month. Some deductions for insurance brought it down to the $70s. Tips were $200 to $400 per week, depending on station size and number of passengers. Nowadays, it's around $600 per month plus tips. I was fortunate and had a technical position. I started at $1,700 and ended up in management, which was much higher paid. Lol. No, it's not. I think only Costa pays that nowadays. The average is $1,200 to $1,600 for assistant waiters and $2,300 to $3,500 for waiters. Source: I'm wait staff on a cruise line and have many colleagues in the industry. How are acts of criminal nature dealt with within the confines of the ship while sailing in waters? Is there armed personnel on board and someone that can determine that a criminal act did indeed occur? Criminal acts are dealt with swiftly and discreetly as possible. The security is not your normal rent-a-cop or bouncer. They are usually ex-military veterans, all from the same nationality. I remember one ship. They were all from Nepal. Very Roadhouse Sways attitude. Nice until it's time to be not nice. If a person commits an egregious crime, they are taken to the brig jail and turned over to the authorities of the next country we land in. The authorities of every nation have a gentleman's agreement to take charge of any crime that happens on a ship if the captain decides to turn the offender over. In Sweden? Lucky day. In Turkey? Not so much. Semi-related story. A family member was an officer on one of the major cruise lines, and I got to go on a free cruise as an officer's guest. Technically, I was on the manifest as a secretary. I was 19 and befriended the captain's kids who were my age. Well, being the captain's kids, they basically had free reign on the ship, and we would visit the officer's mess and enjoy dirt-cheap beers and drinks. The security officer was a crusty old former FBI agent who took exception to me being in there and drinking underage by US law. He came into my cabin and confiscated my passport, then summoned my family member to his office where I was being held and demanded I be removed from the ship for underage drinking. After a few questions, was he drunk? No. Was he causing a problem? No. Was he breaking any ship rules? No. We were sailing around Europe at this time, and ship policy was I could drink with parental permission, which I had in the crew area or at a seated dinner, which we were, and in the company of other adults. Again, all within the rules. The security officer got very angry and refused to give back my passport. The captain's son, who was staying in a cabin near mine, caught wind of the situation and informed his father, who made a surprise appearance in the security officer's office. After a brief private convo, Captain handed me my passport and told me I was free to go, and thanked me for being patient and following the rules. A few days later at port, the security officer was relieved of duty, and we got a new security officer, an ex-Dutch military officer who was about 6'6" inches and close to 300 pounds of solid muscle. He was awesome. He nicknamed me Mo, short for Moaitet, Dutch for trouble. He joined us in the officers' mess for beers regularly and would not shut up about Ajax being the best damn football club ever. Cheers to Mr. Luke, my favorite Dutchman. The captain's son is now a captain and working his way up the ladder. Last I heard from him, he was sailing the Pacific on a smaller container ship. Good story. A good friend of mine got a captain's maritime license from the Australian Coast Guard and went to work not on mercantile, but on a billionaire's yacht. He was an assistant to a captain with a solid reputation. Somewhere in the Caribbean, the billionaire owner came on board and soon demanded the ship to navigate in waters that the captain deemed dangerous. It is difficult to say no to a billionaire owner, but the captain is in charge of the ship while in movement on water. The billionaire owner insisted, argumentative, demanding. The captain said no. At the next port, once the boat was firm on dock with ropes, the owner fired the captain. The secretary called a headhunter based in Côte d'Azur, south of France, for a new captain, and a new captain was flown in by plane and helicopter. The resume was a list of the ships and boats he had served in over the previous 25 years. So that's the story I heard, what it's like to be a captain for a billionaire's yacht. Thanks! The captain's kids were actually really cool, level-headed kids. We had free reign on the ship, but they were very respectful, never overstepped their bounds or took advantage of situations or people. It was enlightening to see as an ignorant US teen. Both his kids, boy and girl, were awesome, and true to form, were both born and raised on the water, allegedly getting their first sailboats at 10 years old, and by 13 were skippering by themselves. He stayed with it and became a captain. The daughter is a senior medical officer in the Royal Dutch Navy. The plan is to go meet up next summer for beers and celebrate Dad's retirement. Any tips for new cruisers? If you get seasick, go out on the deck and stare at the horizon. Wash your hands. Washy-washy. Norovirus lasts for only a couple of days, but you will want to be dead for it. Be polite. You live with these people for the next 7 days. Washy-washy before yummy-yummy. Is it easy to get seasick? When I was a kid, I went on a boat once and I got really seasick. That scared me away from going on any ship again. The larger the ship, the less you are affected by seasickness. To mitigate the most seasickness, try to get a cabin in the middle of the ship as far as forward and aft are concerned on a low deck. That's where you will rock the least. Some of these ships are so big you won't even feel it move. Have you ever worked on a gay cruise? Or a nude cruise? Yup. I have worked Atlantis gay male kink crowd, very wild, and RSVP more conventional gay male crowd. I enjoy chartered cruises as long as the charter takes the whole ship. Semi-charters tend to get a little us and them between the charter cruisers and the conventional passengers. I've done Christian cruises, sober cruises, rock cruises, but no nude cruises. Do you ever call the captain Mr. Stubing? Love boat references are punishable by death. Lol. Thanks for watching. Share your cruise stories in the comments. We'd love to read them. Hugs to everyone. See you in the next video.